Zach Baun and Josh Sweat have showed the blueprint as to how you get paid. Now, we have had special instances where you've seen guys hold out, get huge contracts, but as of lately, as of recently, I'm looking at Zach Baun. He came to Philly on a prove it deal, 1 year deal. And what happened? He becomes an all pro, a defensive player of the year, one of the best defensive players in the league, and he signs a mega contract to stay in Philly. Josh Sweat. Look, Josh Sweat versus Hassan Reddick. Josh Sweat restructured his deal, took a pay cut, came back on a prove it deal with Philly. What happens? He balls out on the biggest stage and he gets a mega contract with the Cardinals. Now, Hassan Reddick, he wanted to be paid in the range of the Myles Garrett's and the TJ Watts and what Trey Hendrickson is going to get paid. And he wanted to hold out. He was prepared to hold out. Howie knew this, and he said to himself, well, I'm going to trade this guy before it gets ugly. And then Hassan Reddick is in Japan during the season, and he's out here losing money. And now he's on a 1-year prove-it deal with the Buccaneers. But he had the opportunity, Hassan Reddick, to go out here and be on a 1-year prove-it deal with the Eagles. And imagine if Hassan Reddick stayed down for that 1 year in Philly, say, you know what, bet I'm going to bet on myself. And what does Dion Waiters say? Double down. And then do what? Double down again. And what if Hassan Reddick in the Super Bowl had 2+ sacks? He would be getting a 4-year contract, $50 million guaranteed, and it would have paid off. So I'm looking at guys like Zach Baun and Josh Sweat. They're showing that unless you're already that superstar like a Jamar Chase or a Myles Garrett, you really can't be out here holding out. You can't. You might as well just go out there, be on a prove-it deal, show up, bet on yourself, and do that. Because all this holding out stuff, a lot of times it really don't be working out, bro. And I think the super duper stars create the illusion as if like that's a real thing in the NFL. That's why I wanted to first start off with y'all. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that jazz. It's MJ, Real Talk with MJ. We're back in the building, back in business. Next thing I wanted to talk about is Jayden Daniels, real quick. Now, you've seen the title, Jayden Daniels over Patrick Mahomes. Look, in the playoffs, Jayden Daniels was way over Patrick Mahomes. I mean, way over him. And the Eagles, I mean, Jayden Daniels, when he faced this same Eagles defense that Patrick Mahomes faced, he was way better, miles better. It's not even close. Now, the Eagles beat the brakes off the Commanders, but I'll be fair and objective. It wasn't because of Jayden Daniels. That wasn't why they lost. I mean, you had every person on his team fumbling the rock. You had Quinyon Mitchell mossing Scary Terry and mocking him. You had all that stuff going on. I didn't see Jayden Daniels out here fold. I saw Jordan Love fold. I saw Matthew Stafford, even though he had a heck of a game and a better game than Patrick Mahomes did against the Eagles, and they damn near won. We're going to talk about that game. But Matthew Stafford had a fumble. You feel me? And that kind of swung the game in the Eagles' direction too. But Patrick Mahomes against this Eagles defense was significantly worse compared to a rookie in Jayden Daniels. So that's something that if I'm being objective, if I'm being fair, Jayden Daniels is the truth. I'm not going to go out crazy and be like he's over Jalen Hurts. I'm not going to go that far because you got to repeat this success or at least win a bowl. Like, it's levels to this stuff. Now, we all know that. But Jayden Daniels is going to be a big threat to the Eagles for the next 10 years. And that's just the facts. And if Deebo Samuel is anything close to what he was with the 49ers in 2021, all right, they're going to be a really tough out. For real. Is really going to be on that defense with the Commanders, because we know offensively the Eagles can match them, but the Eagles, I believe, have that upper hand defensively because the Commanders have nobody on Jalen Carter's level. They got nobody on Quinion and Cooper's level. I'm sorry, Marshawn Lattimore, he's cooked. And that's why he was trying to throw haymakers at A.J. Brown, because he ain't got it no more. That's why. Ultimately, bro, I definitely look at Jayden Daniels. I'm like, he the truth, bro. He the truth. And we got to just tip our cap and be like, hey, he's going to be a problem for years to come. Now, I saw Devontae Smith say this about Jalen Hurts. He said, if I ain't got nothing else in this city, I know I got him. That's what I love to see when I hear a teammate talk about their quarterback in Jalen Hurts. That's what I love to see. And Devontae Smith was saying that he came to Alabama because of Jalen Hurts. Like, Jalen Hurts was part of the reason. And when I look at the way that Devontae Smith talks about Jalen Hurts, when I look at the way that Nolan Smith talks about Jalen, when I look at the way Saquon Barkley was talking about Jalen Hurts, and what did he say? He's got that it factor. Like, he don't know, like, you can't just like put a pigeonhole on it. He just got that winner mentality, that winning mindset, that dog mentality. They wasn't capping, because in the biggest moments, in the biggest games, there's no quarterback in the league that I want with the ball in their hands outside of Jalen Alexander Hurts. Whether it's Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, it's got to mean something if you outplay the best quarterback in the league and a top 3 quarterback of all time consistently. That's got to mean something. It's got to mean something that only you and Joe Montana have scored 35 plus points or more in the Super Bowl twice or more. It's got to mean something that in the Super Bowl this year, Jalen Hurts had the highest EPA per dropback. And so again, this is a guy that when the stakes are the highest, he performs at an elite level, and he performs being the best quarterback in the league. Look, there's a reason why I said that if the Ravens made it out of the AFC, I would be more scared of them than the Chiefs. Because if they do that, that means Lamar Jackson, it clicked for him, right? But ultimately, Jalen Hurts is what y'all think Lamar Jackson is in the regular season. He's that in the playoffs. Like, if Jalen freaking Hurts did what he does in the playoffs throughout the regular season, he'd be an MVP. But he don't need to do that, right? He shows up in the biggest stage. Now, Lamar Jackson, he's MVP, all that amazing in the regular season, but come postseason time, he folds. And for him, if he can get over that hump, just like how LeBron James had to get over that hump in 2011 when he folded and he had to learn how to be a champion, that is something that Lamar Jackson is going to have to overcome. And until he does that, the Ravens are not going to reach their highest heights. Now, you can say that it's John Harbaugh, not running the ball, monkey, whoever the case may be. But ultimately, we know deep down that if Lamar Jackson is MVP Jackson in the playoffs, the Ravens at the very least are getting to the Super Bowl. So that's why, because I knew what the Chiefs were. If the Ravens got to the bowl, you did not know what they could do. They were the only team that I believe poised a real threat to the Eagles in the Super Bowl out the AFC. So that's really what it is, bro. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Last point. It's not a coincidence that with Jalen Carter, he was the guy that saved the season. I don't think people realize what Jalen Carter did. In that Rams game, he sacks Matthew Stafford. Do you know how many legacies He's saved by sacking Matthew Stafford. Nick Sirianni's legacy, Jalen Hurts' legacy, Saquon Barkley's legacy. You got to think, bro. You had Nick Sirianni. He'll fall into the guys that always got there, but never won it. Jalen Carter saved the day. Jalen Hurts. There's a couple of guys that have gone to Super Bowls and have lost, but it's way, way different when you win that jump. Jalen Carter saved the day. Saquon Barkley. What did the Eagles do? When this man went out here and literally said, I'm not about to get the record. Oh, well, he didn't say it. But when the Eagles sat Saquon Barkley to focus in on the playoffs, if the Eagles lost in the playoffs, oh my gosh, that would be the worst thing ever. That'd be the worst thing ever. So what did Jalen Carter do? He saved the freaking day. I mean, it's so many people, so many fans, frankly, that got to thank Jalen freaking Carter for stacking Matthew Stafford, because it was, I ain't gonna lie, a gimme for the Rams to get that touchdown right there, or at the very least gets the 1 yard line, and Jalen Carter saved the day. And I said it before, I would say it again, that was his Ray Allen 2013 moment, because from that, John, the Eagles went ahead, persevered, and got the job done, got that championship. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Real Talk with MJ. Y'all know I always keep it real. More content on the way. We are out.